Hello guys, Dhananjay here, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Xiaomi RedMi Note, which I have been using for more than 2 weeks now, and it's surely a good phone. But is it the best phablet in the market right now? Let's find out in this video. So let's get started with my full review of the Xiaomi RedMi Note. So let's start with a short physical overview of the RedMi Note. So you will find power button, volume keys on the right side of the phone. There is nothing on the left side. On the top there is a headphone jack and one noise cancellation mic over here, and this is the microphone over here, and this is the USB port which supports USB OTG. On the back you will find 13 megapixel camera with a flash which is not up to the mark but has a very good quality pictures. And this is the speaker over here, and you will find a front facing camera which is 5 megapixel which takes decent pictures too. And here is the front facing earpiece. So let's start with one of the strong points of RedMi Note, and that's performance. In day-to-day life, you won't find anything like there are too many force closes or the phone is lagging. You won't find anything like that. So no issues with the day-to-day life performance. But when it comes to gaming, even there the phone performs very good. There are no frame drops on the medium graphics obviously, but that's a good thing for the 10,000 rupees phone, because all the games I ran on this phone went really smooth and there were no hiccups, no issues whatsoever. All the games played smoothly and there were no frame drops which will hinder the game experience. So that's a good thing for the 10,000 rupees phone. You may find occasional lag with the MIUI, but that's quite possible because heavily scanned MIUI is on the top of Android, but it's not completely noticeable, so you can easily ignore that. So I'll give 9 out of 10 points for the RedMi Note performance. With the performance comes the battery life. These two factors should complement each other. Like if the battery life is not so good but the performance is good, that doesn't match. And if the battery life is too good but the performance is not good, that also doesn't match. But in the case of RedMi Note, both performance and battery life are very good. On the battery life, I would say that you will easily get 4 to 5 hours of screen on time with medium to heavy use. As you can see over here in the stats that I got around 4 to 5 hours of screen on time every day, almost every day. And in all the battery stat I showed you over here, my Wi-Fi was always on and my 2G net pack was also on, which is very slow. And there was not a single day when I had to worry about the battery life, that will it last a day or not. Even if I leave my home at about 70% or 60%, I did not worry because I knew that the phone will last longer. And surprisingly, one day I left the phone with 70% of the charge, and while I came back home, 10% of the charge was still remaining, and that's quite good for the phone. I know it has 3000 mAh plus battery, but when you look at the 5.5 inch display, you will obviously doubt about the battery life. I would say that the credit goes to the CPU power saving mode over here and the 720p display. Yeah, 720p. If the screen would have been 1080p, then it would have been more problematic because processor has to push more pixels, due to which the battery life decreases. But that's not the case over here. So as we are discussing about the display, let's talk about the display on the RedMi Note. And when it comes to display, the display is of 5.5 inch and the resolution is 1280 by 720. The pixel density is not as good as the 1080p displays, but you won't notice any type of difference. But when it comes to display quality, RedMi Note has to be on the higher side of the phones. Even some of the 1080p phones won't match the display quality on the RedMi Note. And as I mentioned earlier, due to the 720p screen, the battery life is not affected by the 5.5 inch screen.
The display quality of the RedMi Note is really very good. The view angles are excellent. You can view the screen literally from any side and there are no issues whatsoever. The 720p display doesn't feel like 720p. If you are not into 1080p phones much, you won't be able to notice the difference between 1080p display and the 720p display on the Note. So I'll give 9 out of 10 points for the display on the RedMi Note.
So guys, let's talk about the audio quality on the RedMi Note. When it comes to audio quality, if you listen to music via the headphones, in this case I used the Xiaomi's original MI pistons, and the result was not so satisfactory when compared with the Redmi 1S or the MI3. The sound felt little low than expected. The speaker on the back produces a good quality sound, but that's not very loud. So if you listen to music via the speakers, then it might be little problematic for you. But that's not too low, so you don't have to worry about the speakers. Now let's get to the call quality on the phone. The call quality on the phone is very good. There are no issues whatsoever in the call quality. Both the parties were able to listen the sound correctly and properly. There were no call drops in my complete usage of 2 weeks. Now let's talk about one of the most important factors of the RedMi Note. That's build quality. And when it comes to build quality, the phone feels solid in hand, but the back panel is very problematic because it's completely slippery. There are very good chances that the phone will slip out of your hands. But if you go for a case, then that's nothing to worry about. The screen on the front has Gorilla Glass 3 covering, and that's confirmed by Xiaomi. Let me tell you that it's scratch proof and not drop proof. So you may have to take care by adding an extra 200 rupees or 300 rupees case on it. And one of the most important factor with Redmi Note is that you can charge your Redmi Note from 0 to complete charge in 1.5 hours or 2 hours, because the charger came with Redmi Note is 2 ampere charger. So that's a good thing, and that's a plus point for the Redmi Note. So till now all the points that we discussed were good, or whatever the problems were, they were ignorable or they were not so major. But I have one of the major problems with the Redmi Note, and that's its Android version. I am using OnePlus One and MI3, even the Moto E. Moto E runs on KitKat and both other phones runs on Lollipop. And when I come back to Redmi, I realize that it's still running Jelly Bean. And that's not even 4.3, it's 4.2. And that's quite a major hit for Redmi Note, because it's been around 1 year since it's released and there is no sign that KitKat ROM will be released. It's just Xiaomi is promising that they will release KitKat or they will release something else, but it doesn't seem like they are gonna release it very soon. And I think the problem behind this is the MediaTek processor. It might have got the updates faster. So let's take a look at camera performance of the Redmi Note. So you must be knowing that the rear camera is of 13 megapixel and the front camera is of 5 megapixel. When it comes to rear camera, the phone shoots very decent pictures. I'll just show you some of the pictures right now. As you can see over here, the clarity and the pictures are very detailed. This picture is without HDR mode and this one is with HDR mode. It turns out that the macro shots are really awesome. But when it comes to low light performance, the phone is not so good. The pictures are usually blurry, not blurry actually, but the pictures are grainy, and I have major problem with the flash. As you can see in the picture, I have took this picture with the flash on, but the top part of the picture is not lightened even if the flash is on, and that's not good. And when we compare this 13 megapixel camera with Redmi One S 8 megapixel camera, it turns out that Redmi One S has better optics. That's quite unacceptable, but I believe that with software updates these issues can be fixed. And when it comes to front facing camera, it's quite decent. It takes very good pictures, so no issues with the front camera at all. But when I see that the phone is just of 9,000 rupees, I should give this phone a 9 out of 10 just because of its price. But if I have to ignore the price and I have to rate it, then I would rate it around 7.5 out of 10. But I am pretty much sure that after the software update, if the camera issue is fixed, I would surely rate it more than 8 or 8.5 after that. So this is it for this video guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my first review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note. If I did any mistakes or I missed something or I have to improve this thing or that thing, you can leave that in the comment section below. I would surely love to hear about that. So let's come back to the main question. Is it the best phablet in the market right now? I would say yes, because when I look at the 10,000 price bracket, there is no other phone which will match the performance of Redmi Note with the 5.5 inch screen. But if I increase the limit to 20,000, even there the Redmi Note is still very good competitor. So this is it for this video guys, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to see more such videos on the Redmi Note, then I'll give the link of those videos in the description below, so don't forget to check them out. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thank you guys.